Dubai is famous for its shiny skyscrapers, its high-end restaurants, luxury shopping, grand hotels, and just generally for being an opulent and lavish destination, where the rich gather to entertain themselves. But a visit to Dubai doesn't mean you need to break the piggy bank. After all, visiting this glamorous city on a budget can be done. Hello friends, welcome back to Greta's Travels and welcome to this Dubai on a budget video. In this video we're going to set out to discover whether it really is possible to visit Dubai without spending loads of money, and our top tips and tricks to make it happen. So let's go. Everyone thinks that any activity in Dubai will be expensive. However, there's actually loads of things that you can do in Dubai for free or for a relatively cheap price. For example, the Dubai Fountain Show is on every day, every 30 minutes from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. and is completely free to enjoy. It's located by Dubai Mall and just below Burj Khalifa, so you can see one of the most iconic buildings in Dubai and a pretty impressive fountain show together, without spending any money. Top tip, head over to the Apple store inside Dubai Mall. They have a terrace from which you can see the fountain show with slightly less crowds. After the Dubai Fountain Show, head over to Dubai Aquarium, an underwater zoo. Entering the actual aquarium obviously has an entrance ticket and cost associated to it, but there is a massive aquarium wall that faces into Dubai Mall, so you can get a glimpse of this really cool aquarium, and once again, completely for free. Dubai isn't really a pedestrian city, which is why I particularly love those parts of it that it is possible to explore on foot. My personal favorites are Dubai Marina and Bluewaters Island, which isn't actually an island. You can actually walk across to it on a pedestrian bridge from Jumeirah beach. Obviously, walking in a public space is free, and walking around these two areas is a great way to take in some of those iconic Dubai sights. The skyline of Dubai Marina, especially at sunset or when it lights up for the night, is one of the most recognizable spots of Dubai. Which leads on to my next free activity, which is head to the beach. There are loads of beaches in Dubai, and most of them are public and free to access. Of course, there are sunbeds and beach umbrellas to rent if you want to, and these usually cost around 125 dirham per sunbed, but you don't necessarily have to spend money on them if you don't want to. Jumeirah Beach, just by Dubai Marina, is one of the most famous beaches in Dubai, especially as it's close to all the restaurants, bars and attractions of Dubai Marina. But I personally liked Kite Beach better, as the water is a lot clearer and more turquoise. If you've seen any of my previous videos, like the ones from Corsica, Sardinia or Paxos, you'll know how important that criteria is for me. If you do decide you want to have a bit of a bougie Dubai beach club experience, then I suggest heading to Barasti Beach. Barasti Beach is one of the oldest and most iconic Dubai beach clubs, and the best thing is that it's completely free to enter. You don't have to pay for entrance, for a sunbed, or for a beach umbrella, and there's no minimum spend required. However, they will check your bags that you're not bringing in any food or drinks from outside. And given the Dubai heat, you're likely to end up purchasing at least the water while you're in Barasti. That said, I found the prices in Barasti to be fairly in line with other Dubai places. They weren't hyped up to cover the entrance and sunbed fees. Dubai is famous for its skyline and its viewing decks that overlook it, but personally I wouldn't pay to visit Burj Khalifa or Sky Views. Burj Khalifa is just too famous. It is the tallest building in the world, but going up to the viewing deck is just a bit of a hassle. It's expensive, you're gonna have to queue for ages, and it's actually not that impressive. You're so high up that it's hard to appreciate the scale of what you're seeing. Whilst the Sky Views is quite fun, I did enjoy it, and it's cheaper than Burj Khalifa. But if you're on a budget and you only want to spend for one viewpoint, I would make it the Palm Tower. I love this viewpoint because it's the only place in Dubai where you can actually admire the stunning engineering feat that is Palm Jumeirah. You always hear people talking about it, but you can never properly see it from ground level. Besides the palm, you also get epic views of Dubai Marina, Burj Al Arab, and Burj Khalifa. You have two options depending on how much you want to spend. The viewing deck is pretty affordable, but if you feel like you can splurge a little more, I suggest heading to Ara Sky Pool. It's a beach club with a 360-degree infinity pool that takes in all the sweeping views over Dubai and the Palm. The cheapest sunbeds start at 250 dirham, which isn't cheap, but when you compare it to the prices for sunbeds on the normal Dubai beaches, and think that here you also get a bougie beach club experience and one of the most epic views in Dubai, I personally think it's one thing that it's worth splurging on. Shopping in Dubai. The malls of Dubai are all very famous, so if you're looking to do some shopping, is it possible to do it on a budget? It depends where you go and what you're looking to buy. There's also Souk Madinat Jumeirah, just next to Burj Al Arab, which is actually a new souk. It's all been built in this sort of old traditional style, but it's all newly built and new shops. You'll find a lot of the same souvenir type stuff as the actual souks, but for a considerably higher price. I guess you pay for the comfort of being indoors with aircon, which the souks don't have. If you want to buy souvenirs or non-branded clothes, head to the souks or Al Fahidi historical neighborhood. The stalls and shop here offer some incredible souvenirs for incredibly cheap prices. We saw some traditional outfits for as little as 10 dirham. It's by far the cheapest place to buy souvenirs to take back home, but you'll obviously only find the usual sort of souvenirs like magnets, cheap snow globes, that sort of stuff. If you want something more authentic, handmade, or from a specific brand, you'll obviously have to pay more and probably head to a different area. And obviously there's the malls, Dubai Mall, Emirates Mall, Dubai Marina Mall, and so on. They have a massive range of brands and products, so you can end up spending as little or as much as you want, really. Now let's talk about accommodation for a moment. When traveling, accommodation will usually be your biggest expense. And when people think about Dubai, they think you have to stay in a high-end fancy hotel and spend a fortune to be there. But it doesn't have to be that way. We stayed at a lovely Airbnb just by Dubai Marina in a residence with a rooftop swimming pool with views of the marina, which rents on average for 300 dirham per night, which is even cheaper than a lot of European cities, really. I'll drop the link in the description of this video, so you can book it if you're interested. Eating out is another major expense when traveling, but it doesn't necessarily have to be expensive. Obviously, there are high-end, expensive dining experiences in Dubai. If you go to Michelin-starred restaurants, restaurants that are famous on social media, restaurants in particularly scenic locations with views over famous landmarks and so on, obviously they tend to be more expensive. But eating out in Dubai can actually be very affordable if you search for more local experiences. For example, the food courts inside malls can be very cheap compared to normal restaurants. Personally, I really liked the Time Out Market just by Dubai Fountain, which is like a food court, although admittedly it's not that cheap considering it's a street food style court, but it's quite a cool place to explore. Also in Dubai Mall, there's a Lebanese restaurant called Al Halab, which has a view over Burj Khalifa and the Dubai Fountain show, and I was actually pretty amazed at how cheap it was considering the location and how good the food was. I was also very surprised to find water refill fountains in quite a few public spaces around Dubai. We saw them mainly in Dubai Marina, Jumeirah Beach, and in Souk Jumeirah, but I thought it was pretty cool that you can refill your water bottle while you're out and about, and that way save money and reduce your plastic consumption. Final point of this Dubai on a budget video, how to get around the city without spending loads of money. So there's actually loads of ways to get around Dubai that are pretty affordable. The first one obviously is the Dubai Metro. Prices vary depending how far you travel, but generally speaking they go from 3 to 9 dirham. The only downside of the Metro is that it travels mostly in a straight line along Sheikh Zayed Road, which is fine if you want to go, say, from Dubai Marina to Dubai Mall, but if you want to deviate from the main road, it gets tricky. That's where taxis come in. For short journeys, the taxis in Dubai are actually super affordable. Like you'll spend around 35 dirham for a 5-kilometer journey, which isn't too bad. Ubers tend to be more expensive, but if you're in a spot where there are no taxis driving past, it's the easiest thing to do. You just call one and it shows up. A fun and affordable way to get around Dubai is to use the Careem bikes and e-scooters. This obviously only works for short distances and not on massive roads like Sheikh Zayed Road. So usually like within Dubai Marina, along Jumeirah Beach. We also saw a cycling path along Kite Beach and so on. These offer daily passes that are very affordable. You can get a Careem e-bike for 20 dirham for the day, which is super cheap. And then you're set for the day with your bike to take you around everywhere. If you're not going to use it for the whole day and just want to pay for a ride, you obviously can do that too. It's a bit more expensive if you end up doing more rides, but it's still pretty affordable. Very niche, but the cheapest transport mode we saw in Dubai was the water taxi that takes you from one side of the souk over to Al Fahidi historical neighborhood. It costs only 1 dirham. It's a pretty short journey, but still. And you get to cruise in a traditional Abras boat, see the views, and explore 2 souk areas. If you were to drive between the two, a taxi would be so much more expensive as it would have to drive all the way around the creek. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it helped you to see that it really is possible to visit Dubai on a budget. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and come back next week for a new video. Thank you. Bye.